A routine probation check turned into a courtroom showdown. One defendant, 3 failed drug tests, and years of unfinished requirements. He claimed second-hand exposure. The state said otherwise. What happened next changed his life in under 30 minutes.
All right, David, signs. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where's your client? Have him come down, please. So I know there was some miscommunication on whether or not this is set for a contested or not. Are you all proceeding with the contested today, or is someone asking for more time?
We are prepared, and we do have our CLO, and I do believe defense and the state are ready to proceed today.
We're ready, Ron.
All right. Court is calling 2020 CR 11967, State versus David Galvan signs. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Duffy Pitlock for the state of Texas, Your Honor.
Don Wilson for the defendant, Mr. Sines.
And are you Mr. Signs?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Signs, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yeah.
It's the document that tells you what you're being accused of not completing. All right, did you review that with your attorney?
Yes.
You gotta have to speak up.
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same David Galvan Signs who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 11967 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on January 19, 2021 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Violation of condition number 2, on or about the 15th day of July, 2022 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, David Galvan Signs, did then and there consume alcoholic beverages in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead, true or not true?
Not true.
Violation of condition number 2, on or about the 22nd day of July, 2022 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, David Galvan Signs, did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely methamphetamines, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
Not true.
All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
We do, Your Honor. The state would like to call CSO Brian Leesman, last name spelled Leesman.
All right. Any objection to the witness appearing by Zoom, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Officer Leesman, if you can unmute for me, please. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Brian Leesman.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Howdy, Mr. Leesman. Who is your current employer?
It is Bexar County Adult Probation.
And how long have you been with adult probation in Bexar County?
18 years.
And is it regular practice for you to read conditions of probation or deferred in court?
Yes.
Did you read conditions in this case to the defendant, David Galvan Signs?
I believe that was done by intake, but I usually, when they come in the first time, I usually go over all the conditions with them again. So I know this case happened 2021. Let me see. I'm pretty sure. I know. I'm pretty confident I went over all the conditions, but the intake should have gone over it with him when he did orientation.
So by the time defendant would have gotten to you, that would have been his second time hearing the conditions.
Yes, sir.
Speculation, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be overruled. You can answer the question.
Yes.
Do you have a date that those would have been read to the defendant, explained to him by you?
Let me go back in my chronos. It looks like let me see. Since this was such an old case, I kind of had to go back and look at everything. I know he had a motion to revoke issued early in the probation because I think it was for failure to report. So we didn't report for March and April of 2021, which is why I think there was a motion to revoke issued at that point. I can tell you when he did intake.
Would that be the day that he was granted probation?
Let's see, I believe they were doing it over Zoom during that time because of COVID. Let's see. So it looks like, yeah, January 21st of 2021.
That was the date that you went over the conditions with probationer, correct?
That's when it looks like he did his initial intake with Jonathan Trejo, one of the intake officers, and it's chronoed in here that he went over conditions with him at that point.
Is there a note in the chronos of you going over those conditions again subsequent to that intake date?
Let's see. Actually, yes. Actually, I saw him I guess he came in on the 26th of January, 2021. Let me see. Actually, I believe he reported by phone. That was during the COVID-19, so they weren't coming in. I did chrono that I said this CSO reminded the defendant of his conditions. We'll conduct a Zoom interview with the defendant next week. So yes, I did chrono that on January 26th of 2021.
Do you know if defendant was given a copy of his conditions after they were read and after he signed them?
Yeah, they get an email copy from Adobe, I believe, after they sign them.
Do you have a copy of the conditions in front of you?
I do.
The state would also ask the court to take judicial notice of the conditions, Your Honor. We're asking the court to take judicial notice that there is this contract, probationer was on it, and it was the vehicle that got us to the hearing today.
All right, any objections?
Judge, I haven't seen the document he's asking you to take judicial notice of.
Let me give it to you, counsel. It's in the court's files. Or at least it should be. Thank you. It's the conditions of probation that are in the court's file. Any objection?
Objection.
All right, the court will take judicial notice of the defendant's conditions of probation.
Mr. Leisman, what signature or whose signature do you see on that document, probation officer wise?
I see Jonathan Trejo.
And what date do we have?
I see January 21st, 2021.
Do we see defendant's signature on that document?
Yes.
What does the signature made by probation officer Trejo mean?
It means, I can't vouch for him. Usually I would assume it would mean that you read and explained the conditions to them.
If you had been the officer reading those and then you signed it, is that what your signature would have meant?
Irrelevance, Your Honor.
Overruled.
You may answer the question, sir.
Yes.
Do you recognize the defendant here in court today?
Yes.
May you please describe the defendant by an article of clothing?
Wearing an orange jumpsuit.
Let the record reflect, probation officer has accurately identified the defendant. Now, today we have alleged 2 violations. The first violation, on or about the 15th day of July, 2022 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, David Galvan, signs, did then and there consume alcoholic beverages in violation of condition number 2. In your chronos, what do we know about that violation? Do you remember that violation?
Let me go back real quick. Yes, it was a violation of condition number 2.
And so please describe how we would come to getting this violation.
The defendant would have submitted to a drug test, urinalysis, and come back positive.
Is this at a facility?
Yes, it's either in our office or it could have been at the RMS downtown, recovering monitoring solutions.
And is this an appointment or would it have been random the day of?
This one I would have to see, but I know he was supposed to be taking weekly drug tests as ordered by the judge. So in this case, I believe he was just doing weeklies. And I'm pretty sure I ordered him probably maybe every Wednesday or Friday or something like that.
And on July 15th, 2022, what did defendant test positive for?
He tested positive for alcohol.
Is that a violation of his conditions?
Yes.
And how do we know that there was alcohol in that test?
It's what we get from the results for recovering monitoring solutions.
And is any detectable amount of alcohol a violation?
I believe so. Yes.
The second violation the state has alleged is another violation of condition number 2, on or about the 22nd day of July, 2022. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, David Galvan, signs, did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely methamphetamines, in violation of condition number 2. Do you remember this violation?
Yes.
How many days after the first violation did we get this second violation?
Approximately seven days.
And do you know if it was done at the same testing facility?
I would assume it was definitely done through recovery monitoring solutions, so through the same provider. Yes.
And what was it that defendant tested positive for on the 22nd day of July, 2022?
Methamphetamines.
Is that in violation of the conditions of his probation?
Yes.
And do you know if it was a blood or a urine test?
It was a urine test.
And how do we know that there was methamphetamines?
We received results from recovering monitoring solutions that confirmed positive for methamphetamine.
Your Honor, the state passes the witness.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Leesman, just so I understand completely your testimony here. These records that you're reading about these violations, who input that into the chronology?
I have to see. I'm guessing it was me, but I know now. Okay, who filed the MTR? That was me.
Now, you've had a difficult time identifying the provider, whether it was in office or at the recovery contractor.
Yeah, Recovery Monitoring Solutions is in our office. Like they conduct drug testing in our office. So basically there's different locations. There's a location downtown, and then they basically come to different offices around, our regionalized offices. So during certain days of the week. So every drug test has been through Recovery Monitoring Solutions.
So within Mr. Sign's file, is there some type of a result from that test that is attached? Is it a slip? Is it a document of some type?
Go back. I don't have anything scanned in here. I would have to go. There's nothing scanned into my system as far as the actual results. But if I go to the Recovery Monitoring Solution website, I might be able to find it. I think they reset their website though.
So you're basing the totality of your testimony today just based upon the chronology that's in the system in front of you. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And you've said more than one response this morning, either I believe or I'm pretty sure. There's no amount of certainty to any of the answers you've been given, is there?
Like I said, this happened so long ago as far as the, I'd have to go through everything to see exactly what happened. I'm kind of trying to understand why this is being contested because, we're recommending terminate unsat, but I don't know. I guess you could say I'm still, a little confused with everything,
All right,
but
so let me help with the communication. So probation can make whatever recommendation they want to make. Defense and state can make whatever recommendation they want to make, but this is a contract with the court. And so probation, you may recommend terminate unsat, but the court may not do that.
Okay.
So parties have decided to proceed with a contested hearing. So it's the defendant's right to have a contested hearing if he so chooses. So that's why we're here.
I got you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
State.
Your Honor, no further questions.
All right, is the witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for appearing, Officer Leesman. All right, any other
Thank you.
witnesses state?
No further witnesses from the state.
Defense.
Your Honor, I'd call Mr. Sines.
All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
David Galvan signs.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Sines, you were placed on probation for possession of a controlled substance back in 21, just like you described.
Yes,
And you participated in probation and submitted to drug tests as requested.
yes, I did.
This first allegation that on July the 15th, 2022, that you tested positive for alcohol, do you recall that? that visit?
I recall that visit. It was a long wait in the office there. I went to the store out at the corner and I bought a sports drink and some snowballs. Came back. They went to lunch, at the checking facility. I went back and waited for them to call me in. I was standing outside. They had everybody standing outside and proceeded with my drug test.
And did they inform you that you tested positive for alcohol?
No,
Had you consumed any alcohol that day?
no, sir.
Were you, in your opinion, in compliance with the conditions of your probation?
Yes, sir.
How about the following week on July 27th or 22nd rather? They allege that you tested positive for methamphetamine.
Yeah.
Did they make you aware of that?
They made me aware by the probation officer saying that the judge wants to speak to me. And at that time I got scared and that's why I didn't go back.
Had you been using drugs at that time?
No.
Had you used drugs in the past?
Yes,
And when was the last time you had used drugs?
certain numbers. I came from California.
So when
I
you
came
were,
in 2010 from California.
had you used since you'd been arrested for the charge that you were placed on probation?
No,
Do you have any explanation how they could come up with a positive test those two times?
well, they're pretty sloppy. They were in test facility that, you give them your sample and they'd be handling very different samples at the same time.
But it's your testimony that you do not believe you would have been positive with either of those testing.
No, sir. No, sir.
I'll pass the witness, Ron.
All right, any questions?
Just a couple, Your Honor, please. You do remember the violation from July 15th, 2022. Even though you weren't made aware, you know that there was an allegation you tested positive for alcohol that day, right?
After the fact, yes.
Yes. So you did go and get tested.
Yes,
You knew about your conditions.
yes,
And then a week later, you tested positive for a different substance, methamphetamine. Right?
yes.
And subsequent to that, you were scared because you knew the judge wanted to speak with you.
In the form that the probation officer told me, that the judge wants to speak to you. And I said, okay. He says, show up at court so-and-so date. I went and tested after that. I came clean. I tested again after that. And that's when he notified me. I don't have no recollection of whether I was clean or not on the second time.
It's your testimony that subsequent to testing positive on July 22nd, you took another test and that one was clean.
Yes,
Your Honor, the state would ask, dependent on defense's objection, for the court to take judicial notice of the court summary provided by probation.
Any objection to the court?
No objection.
All right, could someone pass me the court summary?
Your Honor, I have one. It does have,
Well, let me ask you this. What's the date on your court summary, please?
it has 8/4/25 at the top.
Okay, yes, I don't have that one.
Maybe, oh, you've got one? Yes, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
On page 2, Your Honor, at the top, and I'll look with defendant. It shows, like what defendant described, a subsequent date, July 29th, 7 days after the positive test, another positive test for methamphetamine. Did you not know that you tested positive subsequent to this positive test?
Mhm.
So this is the first time you're hearing you tested positive again for methamphetamine.
but
Were you scared to go before the judge because you thought she'd know you were doing meth?
I was scared to go in front of the judge because I didn't want to go to prison.
Now, Your Honor, the state has no further questions.
Mr. Sines, when you say you were scared because you didn't want to go to prison, why were you afraid you were going to go to prison?
The judge had told me that if I was tested positive, that those are my conditions, that I'll go to prison.
But do you believe that you should have tested positive in those instances?
No,
Did the fact that the test showed it and you didn't believe you were positive weigh on your mind at all in that determination?
yeah,
How?
because I know I didn't do any drugs. Where I stay with my wife, some people go, they were doing drugs there. I don't know how it got to me, secondhand smoker or whatever. I don't know how that works, but I know me, myself personally, I didn't touch anything. Sometimes I'd walk outside and go play with the animals, take the dog for a walk or something. And when I heard this judge want to talk to me, it just, I got scared.
That's witness.
Any questions?
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. What has he done on probation? And what I can tell you, Mr. Sines, is normally, and if you think that I said something different, you can let me know. But normally what I tell people is look, you're on probation. If you violate the conditions of probation, potentially this is what you're looking at as far as range of punishment. I normally tell people, if you think it's going to violate your probation, don't do it. If you think it may be a violation, don't do it. And when I have people coming back to me and I say, come in on a compliance, because this is one of those cases where I said, so he won't have to pay for a bond. We will just do it as a summons and have him come in. And he didn't show. And normally when people are coming in for compliance, it's for the court to figure out what's going on in your life and why are you falling off track and how we can place you back on track. What the court is going to do, the court is finding violations of 2 and 2 true. State, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, the state originally was in line with probation and defense's recommendation for term and sat, but if we are to have the state's motion granted, we would ask for revocation and perhaps the minimum 2 years.
Judge, we would ask that it be terminated on SAT. I don't believe the evidence that here was credible. I understand you finding it true. But there hasn't been any other violations. There hasn't been any other crimes. Mr. Sines was scared because he wasn't doing drugs and he doesn't drink alcohol and couldn't understand how it could be positive and kind of felt the deck was stacked against him and he freaked out. And I don't believe he's a threat to the community. I don't believe he's a person that needs to go to prison. I don't believe that additional probation is going to.
Well, here's my question, and this is what I need to know. Part of what goes into my decision is this: was he reporting?
Your Honor, the last contact we had with him was August 16th, 2022.
All right, so the last contact they had with him was August of 2022. Then my next question is, was the $60 paid to the Bexar County lab for testing?
I don't see that payment was made, Your Honor.
Was 120 hours of community service restitution completed?
No, Your Honor.
Was proof of employment provided?
I can check our system, Your Honor. That wouldn't be in the court summary.
All right. Did you provide to them that you had employment or did you not have employment?
Did not have employment, but I paid for my drug testing every time I went.
All right. So it appears to the court that you haven't done anything on probation. And that's where I am. That's the problem. I know that probation said they were recommending term unsat. You haven't done anything. And that is why I don't think it would be appropriate for me to terminate unsat, because otherwise, then why do we have a probation? He hasn't reported since 2022. Is there a reason for his not reporting since 2022? He hasn't had employment. Why isn't he reporting? And then the court tried to get him back in compliance so this could be all avoided and taken care of, and he didn't show. All right. This is what the court will do. The court is going to find you guilty, revoke, sentence you to 2 years in the prison. I'll give you credit for any time that you've served. Could I have a trial court certification? I don't have one. All right. Oh, just one moment. He just needs to do that for me.